Hello, I'm Colton Lee. The purpose of today's video is to instruct you on how to safely and properly set up a Lincoln Mig welder. This is important to me because I use this in my everyday life, at work and at school. I'm currently taking welding at Hamilton Career and Technology Center as well as at Tri-County Tech. The overall process of setting the machine up is very simple, but it's crucial to the rest of the welding process. So let's jump into it. The first thing we have to do is just simply turn the machine on. We do this by just flipping this switch from the off position to the on position, just like so. You'll see the light turn on. The next thing we have to look at are our dials. We have two of these on this particular machine. This one controls your voltage, this one controls your wire speed. I run mine at about 23 on my voltage, and then my wire speed I've got around 500 right now, but it's all going to depend on what scenario you're in, what you're welding, what weld conditions you're in. Okay, let's jump back here to the back now. This is called your bottle. This contains something called your shielding gas, which is important to the rest of this process. To turn this on, we simply turn it to the left or rotate it counterclockwise. We're going to cut it all the way on. This is called your pressure gauge. This connects to your bottle and tells you how much gas is coming out of your bottle. Okay, now we'll jump down here. We'll flip this up. This reveals this spool of wire, which is actually called your filler metal. What it does is it comes off of here at whatever you set your wire speed to. At that speed, goes through your lead to your MIG gun, and that's the material that's actually applied to whatever surface you're welding on. Now let's talk about the leads I just mentioned. You have two of them. You have a negative and you have a positive. This is your positive. This is the lead, which leads to your MIG gun. There's a couple of different parts to the MIG gun. So you have your handle, you have the trigger, which when you squeeze, wire comes out. This is the nozzle. We'll remove this so you can see the rest of the parts. This piece right here is called a contact tip. Okay, so your wire feeds through this, and that keeps it from melting down inside the tip and running this nozzle. This, the piece behind your contact tip, is where your gas is released. You can see the tiny little holes right there. That's where the gas lets out. And what that does is when this nozzle is on here and you squeeze the trigger, you can hear it. It releases that gas into this nozzle, and then it forces that gas right down around this contact tip to protect this metal as it melts down, and that helps keep you from getting something called porosity. That's the whole point of that shielding gas that comes out of that bottle right there. Now let's move on. This is your negative lead, or your ground, which leads to your ground clamp. What you do with this is you clamp it to the surface that you are welding on, or a surface that is touching the surface that you're welding on. If you do it that way, it has to have really good contact with the other surface. That means it has to be a very clean surface without rust or mill scale on it. Otherwise, this won't make good enough contact, and this will arc off instead of this arcing off, and then you won't get a good weld. You simply take this and clamp it to this table, for instance, and now I would have no problem to just strike an arc. And that's all there is to it. Whether you're doing this at work or at school or at home, doing this process correctly is crucial to ensure safety and weld integrity. I hope this video was helpful. Have a great day.